And you?
Very good. We had beautiful weather here. Nice weekend. Little touch in grass, and I've got a tiger beer here, nicely chilled, just ready for it.
What better way to to spend the weekend and actually and end the weekend as well.
Yeah. Very good.
Great.
How about you? Did you get a little time away and family time, friends time?
Yes, both. Friends time Friday, family time as well. Definitely. So really, good weekend.
Very
And
nice.
I must say, on that note, thank you very much for the feedback. I think we definitely can do with such valuable contribution, and all is taken on board. I think we definitely will share with the community so they know what we're talking about. Let me just say before that, Rainman, you got your hand up.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, man. What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. Just wanted to double check that since last week we were having issues, or I was, and I will bow out and let you guys know the settings, but, what's up, everybody? TitanX Space. Want to say hello.
Oh, great. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. And looking forward to the Blaze update. Today we had the shorthand version last week, but yeah, this is this is the pre-launch interview, and we're certainly looking forward to it. Now, just before we kind of we kick off, I just want to first of all check with Mike. Are we okay on the YouTube front?
Yeah, we are live on YouTube, and yeah, we all set.
Oh, great, good. Let's see. Okay, I will suggest we just give it 1 minute more, and then we'll kick off proper. A reason, of course, is that we've advertised the starting time as 5 minutes past the hour, and so in any event, anything substantive, I would like us to kind of kick off in earnest in a minute. Let's see. Okay, just very quickly, everyone, I think we received some good feedback, which we're taking on board here. Things haven't changed in the last few weeks substantially, so the updates that we normally provide at the start of these spaces would be cut short substantially. The stats are there for all of us to take a look at, and I think for those of us who have been regular attendees, I think we definitely understand the narrative, and definitely can make our own deductions. And for those who are new, we will have time for questions. And if any questions arise on the stats or the narrative that we've explained here previously, we can, of course, take questions. So particularly today, I wouldn't be going into the stats because we have a very full and packed, sort of session today. So that is some background. Okay, I think on that note, yes, we're now five minutes past the hour, so we're officially kicking off now. And I'll say thanks everyone for attending. I'm looking forward to a very engaging discussion today. We're having definitely short updates from Helios. We're having updates from Baby Dragon. And those of us who are here on a regular basis, we know that Dude and James provide regular updates and valuable updates concerning their individual protocols. So we definitely would hear from both. I will suggest if we can just have a 2-minute update for each to start off with, that would be great. And then we'll turn to the main event for the day, and that is the long-awaited pre-launch interview for Blaze, or if you like, the long-awaited Blaze launch, because we have been definitely waiting for this. So good. On that note, for those who are just joining, we're skipping the usual opening because nothing much has changed over the last few months. When things begin to kick off again, we'll probably go into the usual detail, but more we'll go into usual detail but curtailed. So on that note, yes, Mike, do you have anything to say, or any any update, and then we can hand over to Dude and James.
Yeah, I have nothing really major update so far, so I'm just going to give it over to Helios. I'm looking forward later on to speak to the Blaze team, so looking forward to that.
Excellent. Well, Dude, James, over to you.
Take
Hey,
it away,
everybody.
dude.
Go ahead, James.
No, I said take it away. Go for it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just a quick update. Giannis is on the horizon, and I do want to point out that this is not something that everybody needs to go out and buy and hold. If you're interested in the tokenomics of it, you should check out our white paper on it. This is really designed to help curb the supply of Helios more than anything else. Yeah, just come join our Telegram chat and follow us on Twitter for any additional updates on it. That's all. I mean, yeah, I'm here. If anybody's got any questions specifically about it, I don't really want to beat a dead horse on it. So happy to be here. What you got, James?
Yeah, awesome. Don't beat those horses. We need to ride them and bet on them. So yeah. Hey, so I'm going to keep my update also really quick. Let's probably 60 seconds. So Baby DragonX, very similar to last week, we've had very little price action, right? We do have some people, somebody adds liquidity and then they pull it back out. A lot of holders, and even then there's no sells or buys for 24 hours, and then Dex Tools doesn't give you too much information. So I mean, it's a long game, right? We are really on the DragonX narrative of day 369. And we're really looking forward to what Helios is doing with Giannis. Not that Baby DragonX would do that particularly, but we're always looking for innovative ideas to add value to our holders. So any questions, stop by the Baby DragonX Telegram, and we'll be happy to talk through anything. Cheers, all.
Great. Thanks, dudes. Thanks, James. There would be, question time later on. So thanks again. And I'll say, please do, do stay, and you may very well have questions during our question time. So thanks again. Now, next is Blaze. I will say, so Rainman, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can. Yes, I can. How's everybody doing today?
Doing well, I think, and I think I can speak for, for all of us. Well, or at least definitely most of us. But yes, I think we can all give you a thumbs up and yes, and say,
Cool.
Okay. So now,
first, he was going to do our intro. Is that okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. Now, Raymond, there is some interference. I must just so that
Really? Okay.
we can get the most out of the interview. I just want to let you know there is quite a bit of interference coming from your end, and so it'll be a shame if that affects the
Okay.
what you're going to say here. So would you? I don't know if you could if you could do anything about it.
Yeah, let me try to switch to I have another microphone as well, a third one, and Ali can come
Excellent.
up and I'll work on the technical issue so it doesn't sound scratchy.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
Rain Man does it again. Well done,
I
Justin.
mean,
Brilliant.
thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. It happens. Now, Raymond, great. So we'll hand over to Ali. Ali is actually up now. So as you know, whilst you change your speaker. Great, Ali, over to you. Can you could kind of give us an introduction and let us know what to expect this during this session, and then we can get into the interview proper. Thanks.
Yeah, so once again, thanks very much for having us on. We did take a little bit of a sabbatical from the spaces, just we've had so much going on. It's been great to see, in a way, well, obviously the TitanX ecosystems took a bit of a battering, as has many of the projects all within it. But it's been, it's for us and maybe for the whole ecosystem, it is a little bit of a godsend because we've had time to watch how things will play out for a little while. We were on the spaces here maybe 2 months ago, and we had a white paper drawn up. We had many plans, and just with the action within the ecosystem, we consistently had to keep looking at what was happening and chopping and changing the protocol a little bit. It enabled us to make some good decisions for the long term. But obviously, then for what we were doing on the spaces, it was smart for us just to take a little bit of a step back from everything, watch what was happening within the ecosystem, and from there try to make the best decisions that we could for our protocol, for the people that will come into the protocol, and then obviously for the TitanX ecosystem as well. As the Blaze team, from day one have always been in here. One of our goals was to, help the TitanX ecosystem as much as possible. So look, we pitched to you guys in the community, as I say, maybe 2 months ago, and we've made a lot of changes to the protocol. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. We've made little tweaks here and there that overall have, it's kind of transformed the protocol into what we believe is a much better, well-rounded and solid project for our own Blaze ecosystem supporters and participants, and also obviously then the TitanX ecosystem and all the participants there. So we'll bring one of the other guys up and they can kind of go through, maybe today we'll go through, some of the changes that we've made. I don't know whether you want us to give an overview of what Blaze is again, and we can do that. But I think it's more important that we get into maybe some of the things that we've actually changed within the protocol, and then let the community ask us maybe why the reasoning behind a lot of that stuff is. So that's kind of, so yeah, again, thanks for letting us come up and do all this talking again.
Great. Ali, so first, who do you want me to bring up? Is it Utah? Utah Crypto, or
no,
do you
Serge Solar is the man for giving a good overview, or sorry, Bad Sports. He likes to yak a little bit.
Yes. Sorry, no, I didn't mean yes. I just meant yes. I think he would be a good person to bring up. Now, let me see. Yeah, Bad Sport have sent you an invite to come up. Now, Ali, I think I'll suggest to give an overview, a short overview. This is your session, so give us, I'll say, a brief overview of what it. So we're not making any assumptions and we don't miss anything. I'll say, give us an overview, and then we will follow up with questions once you are done.
Yeah, so that's bring Bad Sports up, and he'll give us an introduction. Either him or Serge Solar will give you an overview of the project again as well.
Yeah, I've sent Bad Sport an invite, so I think he should be up shortly. So let's just give it a few seconds. Botsport, I've sent you an invite. Please do accept, and we look forward to your brief summary of the project, the value proposition, and
Yeah,
then
hey,
yeah.
Steve DeFi is there up already as a speaker. He can come on.
Sure. Okay, Steve, over to you.
Hey guys, good to see you guys again. Hey you guys, Mike and Fan. Nice to see you. Can you? Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you're loud and clear, Steve DeFi.
Oh,
I can hear
brilliant. Yeah, so I'll give a quick 1 minute overview, and hopefully by that time Josh will make it on. So Josh, just request access if you're not. So
I'm here.
Oh, great.
Steve, you've got to change your Twitter name, brother.
Yeah, I should, so people know who I am. I should do that.
I
Better
reckon so,
marketing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go on then, mate. Give us
Yeah.
give us the overview.
Yeah, just so quick overview of Blaze. Blaze is a game auction where you get to participate in a limited supply of tokens each day, as in to bid on them and then stake. So Blaze is a game auction staking protocol which buys and burns Titan Blaze and gives real ETH yield. So these auctions are 24 hours, and every 24 hours there's a limited supply of tokens up for grabs, and these tokens can be used for staking for the reward pools. There's 4 reward pools, or you can sell them into the liquidity pool. And every day there's a buy and burn of TitanX, which buys and burns Blaze, because Blaze is paired with TitanX. So that's a high level macro overview of Blaze right there.
That is great, Steve DeFi. So I think this was a great overview of the whole system. But I think I've just identified Blaze, let's say in 3 categories, right? So there's one, the supply, and then there's the staking part where you earn your ETH yield, and then the third part I would say is the liquidity pool and the buy and burn. So probably let's start off with the supply. I think you mentioned it already. It's so how does the Blaze supply come into existence, right? Can you probably go more into the auction system, how that works? Especially, I've read in the beginning it's not 24 hours, so maybe make that distinction as well so that people can understand.
Yes, so Blaze comes into existence when the protocol begins. There's going to be 3 days where there's the first 3 days is a 3-day auction, and so in those 3 days there's 3-day equivalent of tokens, Blaze tokens, up for grabs, which is 26,000. Then after that, 8,000, about 8,000 every 24 hours. So the first 3 days are going to be really crazy and interesting, just to watch and see what's going to be happening, because when the protocol is launched, it's completely decentralized. So we launch it, and then the cards will just fall. We're just going to be viewing and seeing just how the market's going to react and what the market's going to do. There's going to be no tinkering from the Blaze team. It's almost like you set the dominoes in motion, and let's see how people play the game, see how they participate. The strategies that you have at the beginning are going to be fine to use throughout, because you know that the game's not going to change. The rules are going to be the same, which is really a massive point for Blaze. And so when Blaze is launched, the first thing anyone can do is participate in the auctions. And once for the first 3 days, but once $30,000 worth of ETH has come into the protocol, because you need to just use 100% ETH for the protocol. Once $30,000 have come in, it's going to be, the contract is going to automatically pair it, just like TitanX did, with 14,000 Blaze, and that's the liquidity pool. And that liquidity pool is V2, a Uniswap V2. So all the fees are going to go back into the liquidity pool, making it thicker and thicker. So after 3 days, everyone who participated in those auctions are going to be able to claim their tokens and sell them into the liquidity pool, or stake them for the staking reward pools. And then, so after 3 days, there's another 8,000 become available, and then that's continually for 24 hours. So the first 3 days, 26,000 tokens available, and then around 8,000 less each day are available for 24-hour periods afterwards. And just to highlight the genius of the liquidity pool is TitanX is V3. So the fees are formed, the fees are taken, the fees are burnt. We improved on the mechanics of the liquidity pool just by changing it from V3 to a V2. So no fees are taken out and burnt. They're just added to the liquidity pool. And so it's going to organically grow through time, because it's a locked liquidity pool forever, owned by the contract. And it's going to, because it's a V2, it's going to grow. And that's I think that's one of the powerful changes that we implemented in the last month. So one more thing to add too, the Blaze tokens, there's only 11 million ever available. The first 3 days, just in summary, the first 3 days is 3 days to auction for the first 3 days worth, 26,000. And then every 24 hours, about 8,000 and a little bit less every day. Because it's better to participate. For early participants, they're going to get more Blaze tokens than the ones that bid down the line, because there's slightly less every day being released in these 24-hour auctions.
So me as a user, let's say I want to participate in the Blaze project. So is there a minimum of how much ETH is needed in the system?
Yeah, so that the ETH in the system as a user, you can actually bid from really any amount of ETH the way we programmed it. There's basically batches and power. So every batch is 0.2 ETH, and then the power is 100 to 0, and that just makes it go down. So the lowest you can bid is 0.002 ETH. So you can come in, and the more ETH you bid, the more tokens you get, and the front end will tell you how many tokens you get, and what your APR will be if you just dump them in the liquidity pool. And even if the APR is negative, though, I mean, we did wonder whether even to include that, because the aim is not to bid to dump; it's really bid to stake. But the option is there to sell into the liquidity pool. And so when you bid on the user interface, you're going to see how much you'll get if you were to sell into the liquidity pool right then. But yeah, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting having that there. Yeah, so as a user, you just use your ETH, and you're coming into Blaze. 64% goes into the pools, the reward pools. 20% goes into the buy and burn, which is buying TitanX for the TitanX and ETH liquidity pool. And let me share something here too. This is really crucial too. Like, the Blaze protocol priority is the user. So every single tokenomics of Blaze is to help the user and to kind of help the user get successful. We want the user to be successful. So wastage is set to a minimum. And if the user is totally successful, the protocol goes on for longer, and TitanX is more helped. Because if protocols indirectly help TitanX and the protocol is successful and the protocol is a massive, massive success, TitanX is going to be helped in a more powerful way. So for example, I can have a protocol and say, hey, give me your TitanX, 100% or 97% is going to be burnt, and that's our protocol. And that protocol sounds like they're doing, oh, this is going to be amazing for TitanX, but is it? Because the user might not benefit, the protocol probably will fail, and then TitanX looks bad. But if you have a protocol which is successful, which is our aim, success, priority to the user, and focusing on the liquidity pool, helping the price of TitanX, I think there's way more benefit to that. So if Blaze is massively successful, the more TitanX is helped. But as TitanX is helped, it doesn't take away from the Blaze users and their success in the protocol. And the way Blaze is helping TitanX is focused right on that liquidity pool. So all that 20% which go of ETH that comes in, that buys up TitanX, which then buys Blaze and burns Blaze. But that is focused on helping the price of TitanX go up, because the more Blaze buys from the TitanX Ethereum liquidity pool, the more that price is going to go up. And the more that price goes up, the more TitanX is seen, and perhaps more users are drawn into the ecosystem. So I think we believe helping the price is the best thing that we can do. When we think of how can we help TitanX the best, let's help that liquidity pool go up without sacrificing our protocol and the users. So if a protocol is just taking in TitanX, in a way, you've taken in TitanX, but the price stays the same. And I kind of observed that happen. And then we got these protocols boasting about having 97%, but they're not doing anything to the liquidity pool. So yeah, I just think the liquidity pool is the key to help TitanX go up. And yeah, we want the user. Really want the user to be successful.
All right, yeah, that's. I think you gave another quick overview as well. So, probably regarding the badge system, it works. I want to understand it a bit better. I think probably a lot of other people still don't get it. I've asked some few people, and I think it's not very clear.
Yeah.
So probably just let's say at the beginning, let's say, right? And I spent, I think, one batch, a full 100 power batch. I think that's the right wording. Is 0.2 ETH you spend it. So it depends how many people are in that pool on that day. Your distribution will come to depending how many people are participating in the auction. Is that correct?
Yeah, Josh, you want to take that?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I was just sort of playing with that in my mind as you were speaking, Steve. I want to go back to the ROI information that we've got. So if you come into an auction, you've got. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I thought I cut off then. Sorry, guys. So if you come into the auction, before you actually participate, we have a full ROI calculation that's shown on the UI. So we took that from TitanX, and many conversations with Jake on this as we was building, and he was very excited about having an actual auction distribution, but showing your ROI if you participated in a specific 24-hour cycle. I think it's really useful. So you can come in, you can put in your batch number, your power selection, and you can really see straight away at that given time what your ROI would be within that auction. And that can help you make a decision on whether you want to play that game that day, or whether maybe you want to try your luck tomorrow. You know, there's a lot of strategy around whether you come in on a specific day or you wait, and you know who's aware of what's going on which specific cycles. And the ROI calculator really helps on that. yeah, don't know if that answered your question, Mike.
So how is the ROI calculated in some ways? Because yeah, probably that would be that. How is the ROI calculated?
Yeah, so ROI is calculated on whatever deposit you're coming in with, and then what percentage of deposit is already in that specific cycle that that 24-hour cycle, and then obviously that's divided by the emission, so the number of tokens that are emitted that in that cycle. So say day one, if there was a 24-hour cycle on day one, it would be 8,888 Blaze tokens within that cycle. So yeah, it calculates back from the deposit, from your specific deposit, what's already been deposited against the price of Blaze, and divided by how many Blaze tokens will be emitted from that cycle. I know I've referenced back to day one there, and day one is a little bit different, but if you used to come in on any given day, that would be how that ROI would calculate.
All right, yeah, I think probably that's a little bit more clear. Regarding the power, so that is somewhat like similar to, I don't know, like a miner or something, right? Where you can set up the 100 or like 1 to 100, right?
Yes, very, very, very similar to how you'd set up a miner, and that is where we've, there's a lot of aspects within the Blaze protocol which we've taken inspiration from TitanX, and that would be one of them, is the power. So where we call it a number of batches, that is just if you come in with 20 ETH, whatever it is, if you really want to go hard and you want, say, 1,000 power, you would then increase your batches to 10, and you'd have the max power at 100. And then it also gives the allowance for smaller players to come in, and they can ramp that power right down to 1, which I think Steve has touched on, that's not 2 ETH. So you can really go down with this, and you can push this right up as well, depending on your what you want to allocate.
All right. I think like some of the other protocols, they've seen that sometimes, I mean, they've increased the power to, let's say, I think 10,000 or so. Like you guys haven't done that, right? So I have to do 2 batch if I want to spend more money. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. We've sort of tried to keep it simple as, so 1 batch is 100 max, and then you can go up to 100 batches, which would be 100 times 100 power. So that would be 20 ETH that you'd come into the protocol with.
Okay, all right. I think that's pretty much on the supply side. I think it's more or less understood now. So I think just for the viewers out there, well, I think you understood that the supply come into existence through this auction system, and you can create a batch. Well, with 100 power is 0.2 ETH, and 1 power of it is going to be 100th of that, so 0.002 ETH. So let's get to the staking part. Well, I'm interested in that as well. I think this is probably, if you understand TitanX, the staking here seems to be somewhat very similar to that. Could you give a brief overview how the staking system works as well?
Just with the staking, it's a real powerful part of our protocol, and we've set it up because we looked at TitanX, we looked at DBZen for inspiration, and we think we've improved it, and we've even talked to Jake in it, and he really likes how we're doing stuff here. So one thing to bear in mind, with the first thing I wanted to say about the staking is it's 4 reward pools, but there's one really special reward pool that I'll get in a minute, called the Diamond Hands Club, and it has a specific criteria for entry. So the first thing just to say about this reward pool, because reward pools and the staking is just like as TitanX had a share rate that decreased, like what we've done is we want the protocol to last long, to have a backup. We want the protocol to last long. And when we saw DBZen, we saw early whales dominating the staking pool. What we want is for when people to come in later to still be able to get be able to participate. And so every 8 days, the share rate decreases. And what that means is it takes a little bit less TitanX, a little bit less Blaze to get more of the staking pool. And you can see the numbers. We've written the numbers in our white paper, and you go and read that and do your own calculations. So why every 8 days? Because that's the minimum reward pool is 8 days. And then every 8 days after that, the share rate decreases. So if you're coming in, even if you're coming in the protocol in a year's time, you're going to be able to get, it's going to be worthwhile coming in. But then again, the early participants had access to all the reward pools. So it's fair on them, it's fair on the people coming in later, and it's even fair on the guy who just holds his Blaze and says, I'm not going to participate in any of the reward pools, I'm going to hold my Blaze and enter the staking pool later because I get a higher reward. So there's games to play. Like, Blaze is simple and deep. So the reward pools are 88, 288, and then the Diamond Hand Club is 888. And I don't know if Ali or Josh wants to talk about the Diamond Hand Club. This is a special, powerful game theory in Blaze.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know if Ali was coming up then. Yeah, I can touch on that 100%. I think for me, I think the main things with that pool is that we have only given the protocol 300 from day one of launch. We've only given the protocol 365 days for any user to come into that pool. So if you want to be, if you want access to that 888 day payout, you will only have 1 year to get access into that pool. So, it's a limited time only, although it fills up for 880 days with the Ethereum, you only have 365 days to actually gain access to that. So once that 365 days is met, that will stop, that is it. So then you're just sitting there and you're waiting for that payout. I think, Steve, did you touch on what we need to get into that pool? Sorry, I might have missed that.
Not yet.
No. Okay, so I think looking at it from keeping it straightforward, if we look at it from the Blaze protocol, which we're launching very soon, you will have to have 4,000 Blaze tokens, and they'll need to be staked for the max length stake. That will give you we're calling it like a ticket to that pool. So that'll give you 1 share of that pool. So you could have as many shares of that pool as you liked. If you wanted to come in with 8,000, 12,000 Blaze tokens, then you can do that. But you will only have a year to get into that pool, and once that's met, once that date is met, that's it. That's closed, and whoever's in that pool will then get their share of that payout. And I'm sure that pool will fill up quite quickly in the near term, but we have to think how, from now till 888 days in the future, how much Ethereum could potentially come into that pool, and what and where could the price be of Ethereum in 888 days? Sorry, it could be quite impressive, and that for me is what I'm most excited about. Is that we have a year to get into that pool. We have a year to think about it. How can we do it? Strategize. What's the best way in? We'll go on to our Blaze Wars protocol probably later on, but there's ways to get in there using that. And super exciting. Like, it will be hard to get 4,000 Blaze tokens, I would imagine, at the start. And it's, how badly do you want to get into that pool? There's going to be a couple of ways in. We can't share everything right now, but at the moment, if you stake 4,000 Blaze for the max term, which is 2,888 days, you will get 1 share of that pool. So that's the Diamond Club, and I think that gives a lot of longevity and life to the protocol as well.
Yeah, and so it's the reason this is so powerful is it's going to encourage long-term stakers, because if you don't max stake, you can't get in the pool. You got to max stake and have 4,000 Blaze, and then you get one ticket. So if there's 2 tickets in this pool, like me and Josh, that means we both get 50% of the pool. It's only given to the people who satisfy the requirements, and it's either going to be 4,000 Blaze or the special Blaze NFT, which is going to come later. And just to whet your appetite, this Blaze NFT will get a ticket when you buy. If you have 28 of them, it's 1 ticket to not only Titan Blaze, but the Blaze on Pulse Chain and the Blaze on X1. So this Blaze Wars game, and I know you guys know about Ali's Pulse Wars, because it's kind of taken from that, like, part of it, but Pulse Wars is a lot more sophisticated. But anyway, this 28 NFTs is a ticket, or 4,000 Blaze, and then you have a share of that pool, which is pretty exciting.
All right, yeah, that's pretty great. So it seems like the Blaze Diamond Club is for the true believers of the project, because they have to wait for 888 days. So probably one of the questions I got as well to ask you guys is, I think there is definitely some cohort of people in the TitanX community which didn't like the DragonX, how it came in and stuff like that. I mean, whether it was the right thing or whatever, it doesn't really matter. But in your project, how will that work out? Can a project come and also take over the staking pool?
Yeah, sorry, Steve. Just really quickly on that one. Anyone can come and build on top of us. Decentralized code. We have no admin keys whatsoever. Renounced contracts. We have no way of stopping anything. The market will do what the market needs to do or wants to do. And if someone wants to come in, another builder, and wants to build on top of our pools, so be it. That they have the freedom to do that. It is a free market at the end of the day. What I will say on that is, you would need to be able to take, sort of ownership, or 50% ownership of our pools. You would need to be able to purchase a lot of Blaze, and the way that it's distributed with the auctions and the capped daily emissions, you would really be manipulating the price there to be able to come in and buy enough that you could actually take any ownership of those staking pools.
Yeah, and just to add to Josh, it's like Josh said, it's a free market, so someone can build anything they want. But there's a few reasons why the takeover of staking pool cannot happen on Blaze. First reason is the Blaze founders cannot support any protocol, because TitanX was designed that the Genesis wallet, on every miner of TitanX, they got a percentage of the TitanX going to the Genesis wallet, which can be used for liquidity and other things. In Blaze, nothing. So we get no Blaze. The only Blaze is the 11 million, which is up for auction, and the 14,000 placed in the liquidity pool by the decentralized contract at the beginning. So first reason is founders can't support it, because in TitanX, there's with 2 million of value of TitanX, and regardless, some people like DragonX, some people don't. But what happened was 2 million of value at the time of TitanX was given to DragonX to support that protocol. We can't do that. So we can't use Blaze to dilute or add inflation to the system. That's the first point. The second one is, if a protocol wanted to do that, and they're free to, it's a free market, it requires capital for staking. And they're only going to get that capital by using ETH to bid for Blaze or buy Blaze in the liquidity pool, which is bullish for Blaze. So if a protocol wanted to do that, it's really, really good, because they're going to have to use Ethereum or Titan, or go to the liquidity pool with TitanX and purchase Blaze for their protocol. Third reason is user reluctance, because in hindsight, if everyone liked it, in hindsight, if people are worried about a staking pool takeover and they don't like that mechanism, they're not going to participate in a protocol which does that. And so, yeah, they're the three reasons. First, Blaze founders can't support. Second, requirement of staking capital, which is bullish anyway. And third, user reluctance, because the users ultimately will be the ones that decide. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Can I?
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mike.
Fire away, man.
Yeah. No. One of the biggest supporters of the Blaze protocol keeps putting his hand up, but he's not speaking now. Can we bring Mo up? I think he's got a good question for us.
Mo, you've been invited up.
Here he
Can you
is,
accept?
the man. No, there he is. Before he rugged himself again.
Yeah, Elon's killing me, man. Can you guys hear me? Are we all good now?
Loud and clear, brother. Loud and clear.
Okay, I just wanted to add, just from like the average Mo perspective, sometimes I think a lot of people are having confusion about how to visualize what the auction is going to be like. We'll do a UI walkthrough right before it comes out, but if you want to visualize it, the first auction is going to be a 3-day auction, but ignoring that, normally it's a 24-hour auction. So you can kind of think of it as a 1-day miner. So if you come in with 23 hours and 50 minutes, you're going to start your auction. You're going to buy your batch and whatever your power is, and then you're going to wait 23 hours and 50 minutes, and then when it turns over, you'll find out how many you actually get then at that point. If you go in 10 minutes before, then you start your auction. You only got to wait 10 minutes. But it's basically like a 1-day miner. It's very, very simple. It's super easy. I just kind of wanted to add that. But we'll do a UI walkthrough for everybody. That makes sense.
Yeah, nice. That's good, man. Yeah, I just want to thank you, Mo. You've really jumped on board with us and helped us out with a few things. So looking forward to a lot of these videos you're going to bring up. The UI walkthrough, we're probably going to be able to get something out this week. We're currently testing V2 on testnet there. So once we've ironed out a few bits there, we'll get that over to you, and we'll get something out to the community very, very shortly this week, mate. That's great.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, so that's great. So, I mean, we had the supply, and then we had staking. So you explain regarding staking. Now, the third point I'd like to talk about is regarding the liquidity pool. And especially you had mentioned earlier on that you decided to use the V2, Uniswap V2, which normally just auto compounds. So the big difference between V3 to V2 is that the fees which are generated to the LP providers, the fees gets auto compounded automatically, and on V3 you would have to do that manually yourself, or there's software out there which also automate that process for you. But anyhow, probably one of the first questions regarding liquidity pool: how will the LP be created initially?
Josh, you got this?
Oh, sorry. How will the liquidity pool be created? Is that the question?
Especially, yeah. I mean, it has to be created somewhat, right? So the question is like, how will that be created? And normally in liquidity pool, you have two things, or 2 coins. So you'll have Blaze and potentially ETH. So how does it get created? I mean, I remember TitanX, it got bootstrapped basically in the beginning, as far as I remember, and it got bootstrapped from the ETH which came in starting miners, and that's how it got created. How will that work on Blaze?
Sure. Sorry. Yeah, it's very similar. There's a bootstrap, so the first $30,000 worth of ETH that comes in through the auction process, that will be used to then purchase TitanX from the wrapped ETH pool, and that will be paired with 14,000 Blaze tokens. And that was one of the reasons why we set up the 3-day 72 hours without auctions, was to make sure that could be, created. We, very early on, we didn't know where this was going. We didn't have any expectations of what we was building. We wanted to make sure that everything could be aligned and that there was no issues with this liquidity pool being built by or bought and paired by the contract. And I think for us, having it from the contract, bootstrapped by the contract, completely hands off, we have nothing to do with it. As soon as this is launched, the contract does what it needs to do, and that's it, and it's gone. One of my favorite phrases by Steve is just let the cards fall where they may, so that was one of the sort of bigger decisions that we made with the liquidity pool. Once the contract provides that and builds it, it's done, that's it, and we can never be touched. And that, using the V2 pool as well, I think is huge. That it's in the V2 pool is it's by the smart contract, so it can never ever be removed. It can never, it's just, that's it. All the fees go back into the LP. It grows with time. It grows, as the protocol grows, as the participation increases throughout its lifetime, then the pool will grow, and I think that is quite, it's quite a big thing for a lot of people going to V3, and it was just we was sort of given an insight on how V2 could be beneficial for this. And as soon as we explored it, we was, me and Steve, we bumped heads and we was like, wow, yeah, this is really where we need to go with this. But yeah, essentially it's a bootstrapped LP, $30,000 worth of ETH. We'll buy TitanX from the wrapped ETH pool, pair it with 14,000 Blaze tokens, and that's it. We go from there.
So for every project, the initial liquidity pool, when that is created, you essentially set the price because you are the first LP which gets created, and essentially you set the price of your token. So on that note, there should be a starting price for Blaze as well, then, because you are the initial people who create, or like you are the initiator of that liquidity pool, so therefore you create the starting price. What is the starting price then for Blaze in the beginning?
Yeah, so the decision on the starting price was kind of more based around what we wanted the LP to start out with, sort of dollar value terms. So if $30,000 worth of ETH comes in, and that's paired with 14,000 Blaze, you get to $2.18 starting price. There's a lot of discussion of how that should be, and we wanted to just be a little bit different to what we're seeing within the community and the broader space at the minute, and we wanted to be more full dollars for full tokens, and not be 7 decimals. We just thought it suited the protocol more. We've seen it similar with similar style distribution models, and I think we think as a team that's probably the best option. So yeah, starting price is $2.18.
All right, yeah. So yeah, that's great. I think regarding liquidity pool, I think that's a bit more clear now that it's going to be bootstrapped at the beginning, and it's going to be Uniswap V2. And let's probably go to the next sec. Yeah, you want to say something?
Oh, just on that too. We, of course, being fully decentralized, it's almost like the contract's going to be known, and then there's going to be a time when there's no liquidity pool. People will know the contract, but the liquidity pool will be formed automatically. And so yeah, that's just extra transparency there.
Yeah. So so basically, in the beginning, before the 30,000 ETH, if that is not reached yet, there will essentially be no liquidity pool. But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter, because if you're in the auction, you will get your tokens after 3 days anyway, so you cannot even buy it anyhow before. So there's that.
Yeah, and we wanted to create this just really interesting dynamic of rushing to get Blaze tokens or doing the auctions, and just to be very interested how that all plays out.
All right, that's pretty good. All right, so we talked about the liquidity pool. Now I would like to talk a bit more of the buy and burn. So probably just as a beginning, like, could you talk through to us regarding the buy and burn? I also read something regarding the bonfire parties, but let's start off with the buy and burn. Can you explain how that works? I mean, for most people in the TitanX community, I think they do know how it works, but just give probably a quick summary how the buy and burn, especially in Blaze, how that works.
Yeah, so the buy and burn is taking 20% of the ETH and buying TitanX from the TitanX Ethereum liquidity pool, taking that TitanX and then buying Blaze from the TitanX Blaze liquidity pool, because that's our main pair, and burning the Blaze. So the buy and burn is completely decentralized. There's zero tweaks or parameters that we will can or could change. It's going to be set from the beginning, so you know what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is every day a maximum of $100,000 of Ethereum will be used to buy TitanX, and it's just going to be on one shot. So you buy TitanX, and then it buys, and then the TitanX buys and burns Blaze. It's all on one transaction. So it's $100,000 maximum, and it'll be set through periods through the day. So it must be divided. If it's 100,000, it'd be about every 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And if someone doesn't call the function, let's say it's every 20 minutes and it's $4,000 every 20 minutes. If someone doesn't call the function, it rolls over to the next 20 minutes. So now there's $8,000. And we did that because the fees increased. And so people are going to be more excited to press the button as they have more fees. So it potentially could go all the way up to like $100,000, and they just press the button and it just burns it all at once. But people probably, it's in their interest to get it when it's appropriate gas, and they can make some money with the fees. So we did that because we thought in a higher gas situation, we want the buy and burn to take place. So we just added that mechanic to the buy and burn.
Gotcha.
So the buy and burn does that. And the second thing the buy and burn does is, I hand this one to Josh. It's our bonfire party. We're going to light the bonfire of spectacular buy and burn in periodic times. So yeah, I'll hand that to Josh.
Yep, I'm here. Yeah, so bonfire parties. We've where do you want to start? I mean, we've got our first bonfire party date is very, very shortly after the TitanX day 280. So it's not exactly, it doesn't come live exactly on day 280. We want to allow some sort of claims, mining claims to come to fruition, and some price action, and then the decentralized bonfire will kick in, and that that hopefully, if there'll be enough Ethereum there to really take on a lot of that TitanX sell pressure. That's one of our main focuses of the bonfires, is to take on that initial sell pressure, and burn as much of that TitanX supply that comes on the market at that given time as possible. We do have future bonfire dates after that. So once, obviously, day 280 is a singular event, and we have many more dates, potential dates coded in that will happen. It'll happen in the future. We've tried to choose dates that are beneficial for not only the TitanX protocol but the Blaze protocol as well. We've thought about staking dates, reward pool dates, and how we can create some sort of event through the bonfire that will actually be beneficial to both protocols. All of that information will be completely transparent once we go live, so everyone will know when they are. It's not there's no smoke and mirrors, it's not secret. But yeah, we wanted to give back, and I think that's one of our biggest gives to the community, is that we try our best to soak up as much of that sell pressure as possible for day 280. And even now, as low as we are today, people still, I see in the community a lot of people still discussing where we'll be then, and how that will affect the price. But we'll be there, and we could have hundreds of thousands, if not millions dollars worth of ETH ready for it. So yeah, it's exciting, and we're going to try and build it as a community event. We're going to do live streams for it. We're going to try and get the marketing out there and show everyone what we're doing, and that'll be that'll be happening probably 2 to 3, possibly 4 times a year, with the different dates that we've got set. And yeah, it's really exciting actually.
Yeah, so that bonfire, when it's lit on TitanX day 280 or a few days after, because we calculate the lowest, people will usually sell a bit more as the days progress. As a tip from Jake, so we adopted that. But the goal to light that bonfire for TitanX 280, massive supply. And so we're hoping to buy up a ton of TitanX that day, which helps TitanX and it helps Blaze. And then the other bonfires, they're going to be on just after reward pools are released. So another one would be just after day 88, and another one just after day 288, because it functions kind of similar as the Vortex. Well, in Hyper, it's meant to be. I mean, Jake took it from Jake. We gave Jake the idea for this. For that Vortex reset, but yeah, so it's just meant to just help the system in different periods of time.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty great. So as I understand, the bonfire party is just it's an extra buy and burn, and it can be set to different events. The first one is going to be on the TitanX 280 days, where the biggest supply is going to be coming out of TitanX, or the few days later, as you mentioned, right?
Exactly, and all this is going to be transparent and known. Everyone's going to know when the bonfire is. It's not a hidden bonfire. It's a clear bonfire. Everyone knows the date, and so it could be a good day to sell Blaze, buy Blaze, or do game theories that you can think of. But yeah, it's one of these things that, again, it's all in the open.
All right, yeah, that's great. So I just have a quick question regarding the buy and burn, because you said it's completely decentralized. So as far as understood, is the limit for the day is $100,000, and then that is distributed in the 24 hours range. So I think every 20 minutes you had mentioned, right? So if, let's say, as you mentioned, $4,000 is in the next section where it needs to be burned, it can overflow to the next one if it doesn't get called. And will that be compounding all the way to even up to days as well? So if it in the 24 hours it's still very little, it will just compound to the next day as well? Is that how it works?
Absolutely, it will just always compound and go into the next day. So yeah, if 20% of the Ethereum coming in is less than 100,000, the buy and burn will just be less than 100,000. But if there's if 20% of Ethereum coming in is more than 100,000, that it all goes into the buy and burn, but the max amount of burn is just 100,000. We just capped it at that. Why 100? Why 100,000? It's just one of these things. When you design game theory, a lot of the times, if you don't tweak anything going forward, the market's going to just decide and just come in like water. So the market will decide a lot of the things, because when you set the parameters in all these protocols, when the parameters are set from the beginning, the market can just decide how it's going to work going forward. But if we were to change something going forward, the whole market is going to shift to different strategy. So when it comes to the buy and burn, it's set in stone. When it comes to auctions, all the parameters are set in stone. Play the game, create your strategy, and it's fair game for everyone. Fair game.
All right. So probably one of the questions is, so if 100,000 is not met, so let's say, just an example, there's only 10,000, the 20 minutes still stays the same?
No, it won't. It might be every 12 hours, because we want to have like a $4,000.
All right. So the
Around
minimum,
about $4,000.
the minimum burn is $4,000. Is that?
Yes. This is the minimum burn will be $4,000.
Okay. So
should be $4,000.
All right. Okay. So, all right. Well, then I think it's like, I'm going to look into it deeply, because I want to understand exactly how that parameter actually really functions, because I just thought it's like going to be every 20 minutes, and then it just auto compounds until somebody just clicks it, basically, or somebody execute it.
Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. It will just auto compound. I mean, I haven't got these exact figures in front of me, but if it's like 50,000, it might be every hour. It will just divide it in the day, but you know what interval it is every single day. So you just go into the website and it will say every hour there's going to be a burn this day. So you can come back every hour, or in 4 hours, if no one calls it, it'll just have compounded 4 times.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So I think it's on my side. I basically all the questions I had here on my deck. So yeah, we talk about the supply, how the Blaze token come into existence, how the staking system work, and how the liquidity pool is going to work as well. And then lastly, we talked about the buy and burn. Is there anything which I probably missed, or if there's any questions? I think most of the questions which I saw on YouTube as well, we went through all of them. But if there's anything which I forgot or something, fire away.
Thanks, Mike. I will say the floor is open for all. If there are any questions, this is the time. Please do let me know. Send a request, and I'll bring you up. I have a question. While we're waiting for the community to come up and ask their questions, and it's this. I think mention was made, of course, of a contract coming in and taking over the staking pool. I think, with the benefit of hindsight, we definitely know that that's something that the community will kick against in a big way. And of course, we want it to be fair. And I must say, I'm really impressed with the approach that Blaze has adopted. I think it's well thought through. The last thing we need, again, is kind of people voting with their feet. Not. I think one thing we've understood, even with the best of intentions, the community is definitely king. It's almost like your customer is king, and therefore feedback needs to be taken seriously. And I think in that regard, you see, Helios has done a great job of putting a gate, so to speak, so that any such event cannot occur without the involvement of the community. So thanks again for explaining that. So I think the follow-on question from that is, are you earning any fees at all, or will you be earning any fees at all from the protocol?
Is Ali there? Yeah. I'll
Ali,
take it then.
okay.
If Ali's not there, I'll take that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we get 16% of Ethereum. One of the purposes is future projects, and also when you look around TitanX ecosystem, they're not all. I mean, there's a lot of how do I say that? You know, if you want quality, it's one of the best ways to do it. So with Titan Blaze, there's no sacrifice. You know, with some of the Pulse Chain, Richard Hart, there's no ICO, and a lot of these ICOs, the creators get a lot of the tokens. We don't. So we thought the best way is, the more successful the protocol is, the better that we get from, the better we get paid in a way. There's 8 of us, and also we have a lot of future development plans that we want to do. So that's another funding, and the current cost is about 200 grand. So everything we have done, from hiring developers to the audits, is extremely high quality. So that's the methodology behind the 16%.
Okay, just to be clear, did you say 60%?
It's 16%. 16%.
60.
16. 16.
Oh, 16. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
yeah, so 16% of the Ethereum to the Genesis, 64% to rewards, 20% to the Bit.
Okay, so 16% of all ETH that comes into the protocol will accrue to the team as fees, huh?
That's correct.
Long and short.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any other fees apart from the 16% of ETH?
There's no more. There's no fees.
So that's it. Okay. Good. Okay. Can you tell us a bit about where you are with audits, and when is your expected launch date?
Absolutely. So our audits are going on right now, and we don't want to give a launch date until the audits are complete. So I mean, we just don't want to really. We wanted to give the launch a launch date when it's complete, but to give some perspective to the audits, they've been the audit started last Monday, so it was almost a week ago. It should take 7 to 14 days, and we've got another audit which is almost done. We're doing 2 audits simultaneous, and we've already had an internal audit. So just to backtrack, we've had our development company did an internal audit, which we're not going to make public, but it was just to make sure the code was really strong and secure. So yeah, the 2 security audits are going on now. One of them should take like 4 or 5 days. One will take 2 weeks, but it's been going on about a week. The other thing we want to do is we've got V2 of our front end testnet launching tomorrow, which the team and we're going to invite some others just to test and make it sure it's going. And at the same time, we're having a functional audit. So a functional audit is making sure all the tokenomics of the contract are working correctly. So 2 security audits and 1 functional audit. We've already had an internal audit. Launch, we're looking at mid-May, mid-May, or maybe before. That is the best, but we'll give an exact date when the audits are completed. We just say we'll announce a launch date. So I hope that's all clear. And if there's any follow-up questions on that, then please let me know.
Yeah, so as Steve said, the reality there is that we should be finished audits within the next week or so. And hopefully after that, maybe a week, maximum 2 weeks after that, we'll be able to launch the protocol. So, we're talking a few weeks away. Just obviously, Steve's we're being careful. We don't want to give a date and then have to put it back. Once the audits are done, we'll come out with everything. Another thing I'd just like to say as well, we're talking about 16% Ethereum coming into the founders. 8% of that is going to be used for future development of protocols. We know Steve was saying there, we've already forked out quite a lot of money to get this first protocol built. We have already kind of begun discussions and plans for, not only do we have the Blaze Wars game, it's ready to the NFT contracts have all been created. All the NFT art has been created. The front end for minting has been created. The audits of all that have all been done. So that is ready to go to the community, and pretty much as soon as Blaze launches as well, we can roll that out within another few weeks. We'll just plan to do that. Time that well to give Blaze time to launch. And then that'll be able to come out shortly afterwards. But as I say, we already have 2 other protocols in the pipeline. Now, they are very, very early stage, and we'll be using some of the funds that come in. The extra 8% that comes in will be used to fund similar Blaze protocols on Pulse Chain and on X1 whenever it launches. Now, X1 is another topic altogether, because there's no launch dates for it. It's kind of still way out in the future itself. We don't really know when that's coming, but we are planning. We want to be on X1 day 1. And one of the core things that we have in our ethos as well is that we want to be able to continually give back to the community that support us at the start. So all these protocols will all tie in together in little different ways, which will obviously, as things progress, we'll be able to share much more details with the community. But I just wanted to throw that in there that, once we get these first audits out of the way, there will be, there'll be just consistently updates, new things happening, and more and more things coming down the line that were all kind of keep being built to build upon the previous thing and all tie in and help each other and help the whole Blaze ecosystem work in some sort of harmony across different chains and continually bring benefit to not only the early adopters, but continually the people that keep coming in to use our various different protocols.
Great. Thanks, Ali. Can I just ask on the X1 chain?
Yes.
And so are you launching on Ethereum at all?
What do you mean? Sorry. I mean, the Blaze is on Ethereum.
Yes.
Blaze Wars will be on Ethereum.
Of course.
Then there'll be similar projects after that. The first one will be over on Pulse Chain, and then after that, then whenever X1 launches, we want to be prepared to have another protocol ready to go on X1 as well. Anybody that participates in any of our protocols will get benefits for future projects that come out. If you're playing in Blaze, you're playing in Blaze Wars, there'll be benefits for you that you get over on the Pulse Chain side. And again, then down the line as well, the same again on the X1 side.
Okay. So, sorry to ask. Of course, you're launching on ETH. Of course, given that, that's the only way we could really use it. Of course, unless you're actually going on Base, where of course they do accept ETH as well as the currency of the the blockchain itself. But I think where I'm going is this. This is the question, really. Now, when you launch on these other chains, are you going to be running an auction to acquire tokens on the other chains that you launch on, or are you going to use the are you going to take a snapshot of either token holders or those who participated in the auction and then allocate tokens on these other chains?
Okay.
What's
Yeah, so it's again with this, it's very early to say. The idea and the plan at the minute is that we will have auction-based protocols like Blaze at the minute, but there's a lot of things you can play around with whether you need one coin to enter the system, whether you need two coins to enter the system. So there are many different things that can be done. There's too many things at this minute in time. We need to see how things play out at the start. But no, there definitely will be auction-based protocols on the other chains. But there will be, apart from if we're running an auction-based protocol on another chain, there's maybe things that would be unfair to give users, unfair to new users to give old users tokens in an auction system. That might not be the fairest way to do it. So, but there will be other ways and means to give the users that we already have benefits on the other chains. I don't know exactly what that will be just yet, but there are many different variables. And as I said, we've got a big focus on building for our community, and we'll do as much as we will 100% do the best we can to help our own community and our own users.
Well said.
I think. Sorry. Go ahead, Batsport.
Yeah, no, well said, Ali. And it's not just the protocols we're launching. We're in the midst of setting up sort of like a weekly community-based news channel on YouTube. So we really want to push this out and try and make this something big enough that we can get eyes from the broader crypto space on TitanX and Blaze. So we've just started this the last couple of weeks, the weekly Blaze, and the plan with that is to try and get as many people from different communities, founders, influencers, get them on our show, interview them. They can interview us prior to launch and for the rest of the bull run ahead, and really try and grow this channel. We've lost a couple of really good streamers recently, and that's fair enough on their call, and we want to just fill that void and be a center for the community to come to. If they've got a project launching, come to us. We can interview you. We can put it on our channel. We can get it out there and try and grow that community spirit. And just, it's not just us launching protocols. We want to do a lot more. We want to grow and try and build our, there's 8 of us. There's a lot of strengths, a lot of ideas, and we really want to just, see where we can go with it.
Great. That's good. Community building efforts is always encouraged. We definitely need more outlets as an ecosystem, and the outreach efforts really do need to be ramped up at some stage. For now, definitely.
Just a quick one on the community outreach. Okay. There's where hindsight and sort of stalling the launching of some of the protocols was a great idea for us and a great opportunity to see what way the markets, the TitanX ecosystem and certain things within the markets were going to play out. We had Titan Wars ready to launch, more than a month ago, and we obviously pulled the plug on that to wait and see what would happen. To even make that project economically viable, a few months ago, we ended up needing to pull in about 20. Honestly, at one stage, it got up to about 30% of the liquid Titan supply we would need to bring in for the sale of NFTs just to make that project sustainable. So it was easy to make the decision to pull the plug on it as it was. So for the outreach, Titan Wars has been changed to Blaze Wars, and if the part of the future plans for that is that we will be going out to the wider ETH community to try and bring in a lot of eyes from the Ethereum-based NFT community. There's a lot of hundreds of thousands of people on Ethereum that are heavily involved in NFTs, and we'll be looking at our outreach there with our project, because Blaze Wars, again, just like Pulse Wars, it's something completely new that's not being done anywhere else yet. This will be something new for the Ethereum market. And there are channels out there with, over 100,000 people, subscribers, that are just dedicated to NFTs. And we have a great sales pitch to these people. And any sales pitch we give to these people will bring eyes to TitanX ecosystem, to the Blaze ecosystem, and to all the work that we're all doing here in all these ecosystems. So that's that's our first kind of call to action with outreach, is that the NFT project is going to be going out to the much wider Ethereum community, with hopefully bringing some of those guys into where we are.
That's good, definitely. And I think as a TitanX ecosystem here, we are definitely here to support and of course share ideas. I think so far, I think all that Mike has gone through, we say so far, I think it definitely sounds as if the time that you've taken to observe the ecosystem and observe the community at large has paid off in a way. And I say so far because I know there's still some way to go. And it seems you definitely have taken on board. You definitely have taken on board, I'll say, the unspoken and spoken feedback of various members of the community and the community at large. The way that you have structured Blaze. So I think we'll watch this space. I just want to say now to everyone, we are now coming up to, I think, an hour and a half in. If you have any questions for the Blaze team, this is the time to raise the question, or questions that you may very well have. Okay. So we will wait. We will wait on you and to let us to let us know, to bring you up. So I think whilst we're waiting, I'll just continue on the same kind of chain of thought, and that is the broader ecosystem, the broader, TitanX ecosystem. And we've always said this. I think there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of potential, and there's everything to still play for here. So I think for those of us who are new or contemplating whether to participate within the TitanX ecosystem, I will suggest to take a closer look at the various projects and see which project that may fit your risk appetite and of course your values. This is not financial advice, of course. It's not financial advice. We expect everyone to do their own due diligence on each of these projects. I think our responsibility, as we see it, is one of education and providing as much information, or at least providing the avenue for as much information as possible. So we're all on this voyage together, and I think from this exercise today, I think we're all richer in terms of our knowledge of Blaze.
So I'm sitting here laughing to myself. You see what you're saying there. We had many discussions as well over the last few months. Should we just ditch the TitanX ecosystem altogether? Let's move on. I don't know why you like swearing on your space. It was like, fuck this fucking TitanX. We're gone. We're out of here. We're gonna go and build somewhere else. And I'm sure many people had those same thoughts, those same feelings. And we had those discussions endlessly over the last month or so as well. And we decided, obviously, that it was definitely for us best to stick around. There's a strong community here. You know, when you go and you look on Etherscan, there's a lot of future supply. There's a lot of there's a lot of accounts that hold TitanX that seem very, very strong and very, very smart. When you go and you do your chain analysis, you to start digging around. There is still a lot of smart money in TitanX. Even when we did our first weekly Blaze call last week, you know, Maxim Broadcast, a very smart guy, he was on our channel having a real good discussion. You know, feel free to go and watch that video on YouTube from last week. You know, he was saying the same. He'd been selling his TitanX, he just recently started to buy. So he didn't participate in hyper, but he started to buy some on the market because, you know, very, very easily we could see a switch in not only, you know, the TitanX ecosystem, but, you know, the whole Ethereum, the whole market's starting to change. And when it starts to change and when the candles go green, people will come flooding back. You know, and when Jake's even said himself that he doesn't expect much to happen within this ecosystem between now and October. He gets surprised with some things happening before he even expects it. And there's no doubt in my mind that whenever the market starts to turn, TitanX can actually pump pretty hard. You know, so we had the chance to leave, but we didn't. We stuck around, and we think there's enough reasons to stick around.
Great. Yes, of course. You know, I do agree. I am biased because I am an active participant, of course. But yes, it's good to be candid about this, and I'm sure we all know that it is a fact that people and there were protocols, of course, that actually made the decision to look elsewhere. But I think it is really it goes without saying, building a community and the sort of community that we have within the TitanX ecosystem, it's really a blessing. It's not the sort of community that you come across on a regular basis. And I think what binds us together here through the thick and thin is, I mean, the values that we all subscribe to here. And that goes back, of course, to the fact that, you know, there's no ICO, no pre-allocation here, and we can't underestimate the positive or the positives that approach brings. Fact is, you know, you don't have these ICOs that distort incentives, or pre-allocation of tokens, the way we end up being dumped on, and that happens, you know, every time where you have these incentives that are so distorted. And so, in effect, the way that the incentive structure is designed within the TitanX ecosystem means that if founders truly believe in their, you know, in their projects and protocols and are putting this forward to the community, and for the community to put in their hard-earned resources or cash, then it definitely makes sense that the founders take the same risks or similar risks. Founders get paid if their protocol does well, and it is the earning really is tied to performance. And so I'm not saying that it's the incentives is necessarily 100% in terms of the incentive structure is necessarily 100%, but I can say it is certainly much better than where the rest of the sort of wider community is. I mean, particularly your definitely your ICOs, IDOs, and pre-allocation of tokens. So that's good. And we again to the Blaze team, we're definitely looking forward to more, hearing more about the project and when you launch. And of course, the Blaze Weekly is a great idea. Again, we look forward to that. Mike, I think we probably could look at rounding up shortly. If there are no questions, so Mike, I'd like to hand over to you. Do you have anything to add?
I think the dude's got a question.
Dude.
He's always got a question. Come on, bring him up.
Dude, over to you. Dude is up, actually.
Oh man, I think you guys did a great job explaining it. I guess my question is when moon?
Hold on a second. Like let's get real here. 14,000 Blaze tokens, or the $30,000 worth of ETH comes into the protocol in the first day. There's going to be anywhere from 71 anything up to 71 hours of no Blaze except those 14,000 Blaze tokens on the market. Whenever we're watching people participate in the auctions, we can see there's going to be an indication of what the price will be, or what you're going to get for you participating in that first auction. But the buying and selling in that liquidity pool for those first up to 71 hours could be absolutely crazy. If that's it, that's the only place to get Blaze tokens at the start. I mean, you can go and have a look at your own. It doesn't take much money to double the price. It doesn't take much money to actually 10x the price. So word to Wayne Moon, day one, baby. Wayne Moon, day one.
I love it. But just to, like you said, keep it in reality. Like, just as easy it is to 10x, it can drop just as fast with sellers. So it's going to be volatile in the beginning, and some people will make money and some people will lose. Play it smart out there, guys.
Yeah, you can't be more right. That's what I've always said. The first 3 days will be volatile, and that is to the upside and to the downside. Play it right, play your strategy right, and you could win or you could lose.
I'm laughing. You know me, guys. I love those day one market buy, those R1 minute one market buys. I'm all over those.
It's great. Well, we're definitely looking forward to this and keeping an eye on this space. I think Dude has definitely made a great comment. I think we also, for everyone, you're wearing two caps here. You're wearing your risk cap, and I would suggest that should be the first cap that you wear. Okay. Your second cap, of course, could be either your degen cap or your, whatever capital you want to put at risk. Definitely, you have your second cap there. But yeah, the both caps are important. Your FOMO degen cap and your risk cap. Got to mitigate the risk as you play. But great, Mike, can I hand over to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I want to say thank you again for the Blaze team to come over and explain. I'm really looking forward to the launch in May. So for the listeners out there, please follow the Blaze team Twitter and Telegram. You can find all the links on TitanXhub.com. I think Titan Blaze is currently on number 8 there. All the links you can find there. I guess the easiest would be just to follow their Telegram to get the latest updates. So thank you very much, guys, and I'm looking forward to the launch. And I'll hand it over to Dude.
Yeah, thanks. Just on that same note, while you're on TitanX Hub, you can go find Helios and check out all of our links. And we are live. And if you're interested in mining some Helios, you can do that right now. I'm looking forward to Blaze. Absolutely. Anybody building on the TitanX ecosystem is a friend of Dude and Helios. I've been saying it over and over again. I'm a broken record. The more people that we join forces with, the more TitanX that gets burned, and everybody wins. So I'm absolutely looking forward to Blaze and some of the other protocols that will be launching soon behind them. So cheers, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate that. The Dude. Obviously, we conversed a little bit in the the DMs and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to get you on hopefully next week on the Weekly Blaze, and yeah, we'll talk about your new projects launching and how Helios is performing and our launch, and you can ask us some tough questions. So yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to get everyone together, all the builders, get them all on the channel. Let's have a good chat. We'll bring everyone. We've got the founders group there, so we'll hit you up there, and we'll start pinning some dates in, get everybody in, and yeah, let's start growing this community and get out to more and more eyes. That's all we need to do. Keep growing.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Great. James?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, so I don't have much of a wrap up. Dude has actually taken some of the best words, so fantastic. I wanted to say, though, just a great job by the Blaze team. It's super, super clear. I participated in something a little bit like this 2 years ago with the lobbies, and it's really fun. It is really, really a lot of fun. I can't wait to play. So I'm just going to say that, and thanks again for the time.
Great. I think if there's if no one is coming up to ask any question, I think we're definitely closing or wrapping up now. I think final comments from my end is we've heard from the Blaze team. I think there's some important takeaways with the protocol, and I think for me it is. The token supply is quite well. The tokenomics seems to be really well thought through. Everything in this space is an experiment, of course, but it seems once you get your tokenomics right and you've got the community around you, you do give yourself a good chance. And so I think for me, the tokenomics is quite good. The fact that the team isn't getting an allocation or getting in any other form getting the tokens, the Blaze tokens to themselves, whether through a Genesis wallet or a pre-allocation. I think that for me is really good. And so when the team says that there isn't any way they can dilute the token holders, I think you could actually see it from the tokenomics. And so the team can't dilute it, and therefore a third party project or contract coming in to take over the staking pools, that risk is a very, very minimal, if at all. And the only way that a third party project can come in and take over, say, 50% of the staking pool would be if they actually go in and buy the Blaze token, and by buying it, it would mean putting in quite a lot of capital to do so. So they have to come through the front door. So I think the good, and of course you have the auction process, which will keep everyone engaged. I think one thing I wanted to ask, I'm sorry about this, no, it probably was mentioned. How long is the auction going to last for? The auction process, Ali. I know you talked about the diamond hands, which was about 365 days, but the auction process itself, how long is that for?
Sorry, I wasn't listening there. I think it's 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Okay. That's
so you can participate in auctions for 18. Yeah. So the amount, it starts off, I think it's the first day's 1 day auction is 8,888 tokens, and that goes down a very small percentage every single day over 18 years. I don't actually even know what the figure would be on the last day, how many Blaze tokens would be available, but yeah, that distribution is over 18 years.
Oh, great.
Now,
Okay.
now we're looking at Mike Dean's territory. That's the go-to guy for the numbers.
Exactly. Yeah, that was just a small point on that. That was the 18 years was sort of evolved around. We had 8,888 tokens day one, and the disinflationary rate for the emissions we wanted to be 0.08% per day, and yeah, that's where we got to. 18 years sounds great and worked out really well mathematically. So yeah, we went with that, and 18 years gives us enough time to, for the protocol to be active. We've got a couple of cycles in us there, and yeah, just works. I think anything after sort of, 10 years, you're not going to be coming in looking for anywhere near 8,000 tokens, but, yeah, that's where we're at. 18 years. If we're still all around here, 18 years time, I think the Blaze token will be pretty expensive.
Great. Well, listen, I think the takeaway that one of the takeaways here is that the team is building, still building, and that there are other projects in the pipeline. So as long as the token is utilized, or if you like, if the token has more use cases than most, I think it has a good chance. So that will be something, of course, we'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And Ali has mentioned, of course, there is a lot in the pipeline. It's very early stages. As long as the team can find more and more use cases for the token, then it has a good chance. On that note, to everyone, I'll say thank you so much for attending, and to the Blaze team again, wishing you all the best, the very best, with the audits and with the launch. We're looking forward to this. Thanks everyone again. Enjoy the week ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.